Hello.
Hi, Jay. How are you?
Good.
Yeah,
Right.
me too.
This one's got the. All right. It uses different icons than the Microsoft Teams.
Yes.
So right now, it looks to me like I'm muted and the camera's off, but neither one is true.
Correct. And I can actually see it on my screen, so I can tell you.
So did you just bring it up? You just open it up, or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Ago.
Okay. Because Bruce tried earlier and had trouble, I guess, or he didn't get in. So
Yeah, he had trouble last time.
hopefully he tries again.
Yeah, I sent it, and Eric couldn't find the meeting invite, so I sent that to him. And did he send you the report? Because I don't have it.
No. Sherm was just sent the treasurer's report today. Sure.
Yes. Yeah, we got to remind them because they're supposed to send it so that it's posted with the agenda.
Right.
You having a good summer?
Yes, it's busy, but that's good. Got out sailing yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Finally.
Oh, out of the wind yesterday, huh?
Yep. Put our boat in on Thursday.
Oh, good.
So, have my boat in the morning finally.
Yay!
After a year of not, I didn't even put it in the water last year. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we just, we're actually going to go to Fisher's tomorrow. We've had some engine issues this year.
Oh.
So they sent the wrong part, and then UPS delivered it to the wrong place. And so
the shipping's been terrible too. I mean, every place is really slow shipping stuff, and then the shippers are all very slow too.
Yes, yeah. I've noticed the same. But tomorrow we'll get out there. We're going to go to Block, but there's just too much chaos, and they've got some of the workers have already developed COVID since
over there.
July.
Oh, yeah. What are they going to close the? I mean, they can't really afford to close the island, I guess.
No, but the governor, from what I read today, is threatening to, because it's not the businesses, it's the people coming onto the island. They're not following distancing. They're not wearing masks.
I think yeah.
It's just a very, very strange time.
Yep.
And I've been fighting being home. So we've been doing a lot of yard and house stuff, and my husband's he's out painting right now, but
hope you didn't let him go up the ladder.
No. No ladders.
Get rid of all the ladders.
Yes. But I got Lyme disease.
Oh no.
And the medication, I just got off it a few days ago.
You can't go out in the sun, yeah.
No.
I got that a couple of summers ago. I got that, yeah.
Oh, the medication was horrible. They had to, because I have rheumatoid arthritis, they had to give me this really potent stuff, more than the norm that they use. Oh, horrible. I was bedridden for 2 days. It was just, so yeah, no more out in the woods in the yard.
Yeah.
I see Eric. Let's see if I can unmute him. Hey, Eric.
Hey, hear me now?
Yeah, I just unmuted you.
Okay.
She has the power.
I am here.
Good. Are you going to verbally give us your report?
Yeah, because we were too busy at work today to be able to write anything.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
I'm not going to start recording until we've got everybody on board. Bruce?
This week. There's Bruce. Bruce is.
Yep, a little bit.
Hey, Bruce. We barely can see your face. You might want to tilt. There we go. Hi there. That's better. There we go. How's things with you?
Am I muted or no?
No, I unmuted you.
Oh, good. Thank you. Oh, you have to do it. I can't do it myself. Oh,
No,
oh,
you can. I just was saying hello and I wanted you to hear me.
I wasn't sure. I'm used to Zoom meetings. This one's about the same, but I keep looking for the icons from Zoom where
Yes.
you mute or whatever.
Jay was saying the same thing. They use Teams, which is a little,
Mhm.
they're all a little different, but it's basically pretty much the same.
Ah. There goes Jay. He's given up.
Yeah, he muted himself. Hey, Eric, did you get any news on what happened at Napatri on Sunday? I mean, at Sandy Point on Sunday?
I did. Not sure what's public information by now and what's not.
Yeah.
I got a call from the police department late morning, early afternoon, something like that. And then a couple of follow-up calls later on.
They said,
Has the name been released?
not that I saw today. It was in Channel 3 first, then the day had it. But they keep saying the man drowned, but they transported him to Walker's Dock. So if he drowned and they were trying to resuscitate him, so
Something. It was either a cardiac or a drowning. He was with his line, ended up going overboard. I mean, that's about as much as Brian could tell me at the time.
oh,
He lived across the street from us. I talked to his widow today. Just this morning.
he did pass away.
Yeah, Charlene. She's Charlene Wyant. Charlene Colello. Yeah, they live right there. Well, she does. He did. So
Yeah, she was
too bad.
with him. She was there at the
Yeah,
point.
she was there. They were tying the boat. They put out the bow anchor in deep water. She said they didn't usually they go to Sandy Point every weekend for years, and they don't usually go in that deep water, but she was doing the stern anchor onto the beach, and apparently she turned around and he was in the water, and he doesn't swim well, she said. He wasn't a great swimmer, but anyway, he went under and then he came back up and he didn't say anything. And she was like, "What's going on?" And he went under again. And the next time he came up, he was on his face. So it sounds a lot like a cardiac arrest or something like that. And it's just she said she'll find out.
The original call was a cardiac.
Yeah.
And then later on, when Brian was telling me about it, that's when he thought maybe actually went the way of a drowning. They weren't really sure.
That's sad.
There was a westerly fireman there and someone else who had CPR. And so they worked on him right there for quite a while. They were exhausted, she said. And then when they got him to the ambulance folks worked on him again for a long time. But the hospital said that his heart never restarted.
Does that sound like cardiac?
It does. It sounds like that to me. Yeah. Too bad.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Nice guy.
Yeah, he was the borough highway.
Yeah.
He and
one half of the Borough Highway Department.
One half, yep. Yep. Susan and Roger. So it's too bad.
That's sad. I just lost a friend and longtime Pfizer coworker. She has always had heart issues similar to mine, and she was going for open heart surgery, and she didn't pass on the table. She had and caught pneumonia
Hmm.
and passed away. So,
That's
and she's
unfortunate.
62. So sad. Very vibrant lady too. So,
Hey, on a lighter note,
yeah, let's have lighter.
I became a grandpa for the 4th time about an hour ago.
Yay!
Boy or girl?
Very nice.
Baby girl, we don't really have any other than it's a girl, everybody's healthy, we'll talk to you later.
So do you have all girl grandchildren or boys?
I now have 3 girls and 1 boy.
Yay!
Yeah.
Congrats. Oh, hello, Paul. Hello, Sherm.
Get up there. I think we got a quorum now. Oh, no, we didn't. We don't. Eric doesn't count.
No, I don't count.
Fine. We need one more, I think.
Yeah, Jess is not joining us.
Yeah.
Jess is not, but Ed said he was coming.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Ed, there he is.
Is
Oh, that's not Ed.
Sherm.
Ed is
Hello.
Eric Bunch.
Hello.
Hey, Paul. Yeah, I don't see Ed yet.
That's
Says
me.
Ed right there.
Yeah. I'm going to start typing in a different name so the initials show up saying hi or something like that.
As you call in, it only gives your 2 initials.
Oh, it's ED, Eric Bunch. Oh, got it.
Get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, you're showing on mute. Is that what you want to be? I can unmute you if you'd like. There you go.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Melanie, I would expect Keith to call in from DACA tonight.
Okay.
I think he was planning to.
And there's Joe.
Hello.
Hey, Joe.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, there you are. Okay. I'm just
Good.
checking to see if
Now
anybody.
we have a quorum. All right.
Yeah, now we're good. Let's see. Haven't gotten any messages from Bruce Anderson.
Hey, look what I figured out how to do.
Whoa.
Whoa, Eric!
So you're on your phone, Eric?
Yeah, I'm on my phone
Okay.
Very cool.
with you can't find a camera or anything for your computer nowadays.
What?
They're all sold out.
Wow.
Hey, Sherm, did you get the message I
Okay.
sent you on Saturday regarding
Yeah.
the deposit? Okay.
Yeah, I got it. So we're all squared. I do have some questions, but we don't need to talk about it here, but I spent quite a bit of time on the phone with have you met over at online, a girl named Jen?
Yes.
In there?
Yeah, personally, I haven't worked with her, but I know Melanie has.
Yeah, I thought she was tremendous. How about you, Melanie? Did you get along well with her?
She's right on top of things. She knows how to do things well. She's very computer literate, and
Yeah.
From what I'm trying to remember, Matt said he has a new role, so he's stepping aside from
Right.
any daily interaction like he had before, and she's taking over any questions we have, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I found her very helpful. She's available, 9 to 2:30 at her home 5 days a week. returned the call immediately and knew what she had the answers to my questions anyway, so.
Yes, I found the same thing. She's very responsive. Matt
Yeah.
was too. But Matt would say that he'd get back to me later in the day kind of thing. So it was, I find Jen right away, real quick. So it's, excuse me, a good transition. I think that they.
Yeah, I agree.
Eric and Sherm question. I received, they sent the check to me for Liechtenstein.
Okay.
Do you want it mailed directly to you, Sherm, or do you want it first, Eric? How do you want to do this?
I would run it through Eric where all the payments are going, and he can get it logged in and bundle it then with any others that he's got yet to go in and deposit it or send them to the town.
Okay, I'll send it directly to you, Eric.
Yeah, you can send me that one, and Jay, if you could send me one that you have.
Okay, the LEU Island, yep.
Yeah,
Did you get them into online mooring? I guess not.
Melanie's actually working on that project to get them all
Okay.
together in there.
Yes.
We have lat lawns for their moorings?
No, I'm gonna go for and snag them all.
Okay.
I'm going to work with Jen next week. We're going sailing for a few days, and I was not feeling well last week, so it's get that finalized like I wanted to.
So where do you want me to mail it to you, Eric?
Send it to the post office box because Thursday morning, we're gonna head out of here down to Maryland to meet the new kid. So.
Okay. What's that box number?
135.
135. Maryland, huh? Oh, that's not too bad.
6.5 hour drive.
Oh,
Bad drive. As long as New York City doesn't.
Charles.
Charles, I see. Do we want to start, Jay?
We can. Did you get anybody? I think Bruce Anderson was going to call him. Did you hear anything? Did you check your email on him?
From him.
I don't have any new emails from him or anybody else.
No, I don't either. Not from Caleb. Charles, your picture's not showing, but you're not muted, so you can hear us.
Where's Ed?
See you.
Oh, we got Ed.
I think I'm on.
We got Ed. Somebody's got a lot of background noise. They need to mute.
Yeah. Sounds like somebody's moving papers. Hi, Ed.
Hi.
Looks like somebody's running a blender next to the mission thing or something. Okay, so let's call the meeting to order here.
All right, I'm going to hit
7:05. Okay.
recording is in progress. Go ahead.
Okay, I'd like to call the July meeting of the Stonington Harbor Management Commission to order here at 7:05 p.m. We have 7 commission members in attendance. Maybe more will be joining. And it doesn't look like we have anybody from the public on. So the first order of business is to review the minutes from the last meeting. Those up.
Do you want me to do the action items or we want to approve the minutes? A lot of feedback from someone. Let me see.
Yeah, we got to get that stuff.
Yeah, hold on, I'm gonna click and see.
I don't hear any feedback, so somewhere else.
Okay. Now it's gone.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll review the action items. In the minutes, we had, first action item was Eric would attempt to contact Mike Payton for his response. This was on the review the permits for the 4 channel buoys in the north area of the harbor.
Yeah, still haven't done anything with that.
Okay,
That's for the new.
I can get to that. The new Slow No Wake is being reviewed at deep now, so that's in progress with the harbor management plan. Action item 2 was Eric again researching the deed for the Harbor Condominium Association, and you're going to contact
Done.
Mr. Famine Steele.
Wasn't that
That was done
last
last
month?
month. Yeah, it should have been noted closed.
Oh, okay. So that should have been closed, or we're crossing it out and putting done. Did last month. Okay. I'll correct that. That's right. He was going to have the condominium association get the mooring. Okay, action item 3. That was closed out and done. And then about contacting Deep for any mooring data specifications they may have for review. I've been in touch with Deep. I've been talking with Kim there quite a bit, but I didn't get into the mooring data specs. I'll go back to her and find out if they have. I don't know what's all that noise is.
Hold on a second. We're getting a lot of feedback from someone. I'm putting everyone on mute right now. Okay, Jay, I'm going to monitor this on my screen. So
Okay.
if someone wants to talk, unmute yourself and then mute yourself again, please. And Jay's speaking right now.
So am I unmuted now?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So I'm reading the minutes. I'm looking at that screen. I sent the next one. I sent the draft plan and ordinance to Deep, and there's a review there. And action item 4 was done. Action item 5 was for Sherm to invoice the special use moorings to SHYC and Ness, I guess. Because we're not using the online mooring for that right now, I guess.
Oh, hold on one second, Sherm. I got to unmute you. Okay, go ahead, Sherm.
Yeah, that was all done, I thought, before the last meeting. That's taken care of. They've been
Yeah, that should have been noted.
invoiced and they've been paid.
So noted done also. Okay.
It's all done.
All right. And then the this last one was led by Joe, the Ford group, to investigate the transient dock and the sign. That we were partially along with that, I believe.
It shows that was the motion was approved and it should have been purchased. So we just need an update from Joe on whether
Right.
it's purchased and when it's going to be placed.
Yeah, I've spoken with him a couple of times in the last couple of weeks and gotten a couple of different drafts of the signage and the fonts and stuff like that. And basically we have a final now. I spoke to them today. Actually, they expect to have the final signs ready this week. So once we get them, then I might reach out and see if I can get some help taking down the old ones and putting up the new ones, only because they're sort of high up on the pilings down there at the dinghy dock. So anyway, it's moving along well.
Very good. Okay, so that concludes the action items. Is there any other, if I can get a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
Actually, Jay, I'm showing the way the minutes were written. There's more action items showing on the
Oh.
minutes.
Okay.
Do you want me, I made notes. Do you want me to go through what I had?
Sure.
Hold on just a sec.
Mute everybody.
Actually, Sherm, it's actually the noise seems to be coming from your area. So I've muted you. So I'm going to unmute others if you want to. Let's see, hold on just a second. Ed, I'm going to unmute you. Bruce McKinnon, you're okay. I'm unmuting. Eric, Joe Williams, and Paul. Sherm, I've got you muted and Charles is muted. So when you want to speak, Sherm, if you want to just raise your hand, I can quickly unmute you or you can unmute yourself. Is that okay, Sherm?
He's muted.
Okay.
I'm talking.
I'm assuming he said okay. Oops, now we, oh, there it is.
Hi, now can you hear me now?
Yay, hear you now.
I figured out how to unmute myself, so
Okay. All right, so what I'm showing from under new business. First Selectman asked us to consider placing a letter of support for the sewer infrastructure bond. Commissioner Rose will write the letter of support for the sewer bond and submit it to Commissioner Spalding to submit it to the town. Jay?
Am I muted or not?
No, everyone's
Okay.
unmuted except for Jay.
Yeah, that was the, that action sounds right. I never got a draft from Caleb.
Okay.
And so, and we didn't make it, we had to get it out pretty quick because that, I mean, it's all been done in the town.
Okay.
They passed
Yeah.
the $10 million bond for the sewage. I guess they had enough support without us.
I'm going to mark that closed.
Okay.
Commissioner Donch will move, oh, hold on, let me back up. Commissioner McKinnon suggested that we mark the anchorage area, which was marked with 6 buoys previously, and now with 5 buoys to save on replacement of the buoy that was lost until next year. Harbor Master Donch suggested that the southwestern buoy be omitted for this year. Harbor Master Donch will move the marker when he is next out in the harbor. Eric? Okay.
To the north, that's done.
Okay. And the Commissioner Diggs plans to examine and have repaired an electrical outlet at the Harbor Master's police boat docks. And he sent an email to, I received it in Jay, and he completed that. So we will show that as done as well. And that ends the action items. Eric, what losing you?
Because when I yeah, I mean,
Eric, you're coming in and out. Eric. Now we can hear you fine. And Eric, on the bottom of your screen, there's a circle that says chat. If you want to click on that, it'll come up on the right-hand side of your screen and you can type what you want to say.
All right, let me try that.
Eric's typing. Keep electrical. It disappeared, Eric.
Just keep electrical open, repair not complete.
Gotcha. Thank you. I'll keep. We're all set. Okay. Eric says, thanks, Ed.
All right.
And Melanie?
Yeah.
Eric, Jess has been working that, so maybe you can get in touch with Jess separately and he'll get in touch with SNS to look and see what you say the problem still is.
Well, Eric says will do.
Okay.
Melanie?
Yes.
We should probably have the record also show that as part of the signage issue, I did contact Jessica Fogg, that's Fogg, and she's with the owning entity of the marina to notify her of our putting up the signs and asking for her acknowledgement and approval as the owner of the dinghy dock. She never replied to either voicemail or the emails. I copied Jesse and Jay on that email to her, just so they would be aware of it. In any event, I just think we should probably show it in the record that we did try to contact her. She did not reply.
Will do.
So.
Jay, go ahead.
Okay. Let's see. I guess, Melanie, can you send Bruce Anderson a link to the meeting? Or maybe I can forward it out of my calendar. See, for me, it went out of my inbox and went into my calendar. I think he doesn't have the link to get it to the meeting.
Okay. I'll send it again.
Maybe I can forward it.
I can forward it to him.
Okay.
Got it right here.
Somebody's got some kids there. All right. Okay, so I think that concludes reviewing the old minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
So moved.
Is that
Second.
Bruce?
Second.
Okay. You got that, Melanie? Who moved that?
Hold on. Yes, I'm having troubles reconnecting. Hold on just a sec. Okay, I'm back.
Well, there's two of you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So who moved that motion? Was that you, Joe?
Joe did, yeah.
I seconded it, Bruce.
Joe Williams moved the minutes and Bruce McKinnon seconded. All those in favor of approving the minutes for the last meeting?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Right. We got the minutes. So now we have a public comment. We don't have anybody on the phone. Melanie?
I'm not seeing it. Now I'm echoing, so I've got to go
You have
back
two.
out.
You have two open, Melanie. You have two windows
I know,
open.
I'm trying to close one. Sorry, guys. All right.
It looks better.
Well, if I could see it, it would be better.
Well, we see only one of you now. Before there were two.
I know.
You had two instances open. We can see you.
Okay. Let me see if I can get it back up. Yeah, it's
Now it's two of you again. Host and the regular.
keep going while I'm trying to fix
Okay.
this.
The next item is the Coveside Marina. You guys got a chance to look at the drawings I sent out? That one just a few, half an hour before the meeting. That gives more detail.
Bruce
So I got it.
Anderson's joined.
Oh,
Good evening, everybody.
welcome, Bruce. Bruce, we're at the reviewing the Lockwood Coveside Marina.
Yep.
So I sent out drawings this evening. I thought I sent these before too, but perhaps not. But these have all the details. I don't know how familiar you guys are with this marina. It's up in Wickley Park Cove, past the railroad bridge. So you really don't go up there unless you're going to the marina or going to the Cove Ledge Marina next to it, or King Cove all the way at the top of the cove. Several years ago, many years ago, I kept a small motorboat in this marina. So I'm familiar with it, or in the lack of water in it. It's very shallow, and you can see that in the drawings. But the looks like they're trying to put in some new docks at the south end of the marina. That's a new configuration with a lot more docks. And it also, if you look in the, thought Keith was going to call in to address our questions here. But if you look at the very first drawing, these docks are sticking out a little bit more than anything has before there. And so the issue is, would this be you can actually see that they had existing docks that were much shorter in length in this area. The new docks are much longer going out into the cove. So the issue there is if they're obstructing passage up to the inner docks or up to the other marinas, or not. And,
Well, there's no navigable channel there. Is there an identified channel?
there's no identified channel. No, there's just the way people have to go to get to their docks.
Yeah. I mean, our warping out plan doesn't address that, unfortunately.
Jay, the second
Where's the
drawing,
environmental factor here? I mean, I would have thought that the DEP would have, been really worried about this just generally. In terms of a way forward, meaning it's obstructing the waterway. It's very shallow. Obviously, shellfish, eelgrass beds, all that kind of stuff would be impeded or affected in some way, shape, or form. But correct me if I'm wrong, but this application is in advance of a environmental application. Am I right?
That's part of the process. I mean, all we do is say whether it's consistent with our harbor management plan. And then and that goes in with the application to DEEP. So it hasn't been through DEEP yet. We're at the front end of this. It's put together plan.
Jay, am I wrong? Is this sort of the cart before the horse thing? I always thought that we were sort of not necessarily the final stamp, but I just thought we would just either approve based on the environmental studies and just agree with all the findings.
No, they generally they work the issues with DEEP informally, and then, but the final application, our approval in accordance or consistency with the plan, the harbor management plan, goes with their final application to DEEP. But they work on it with DEEP ahead of that. It's not,
so I would suggest we say it doesn't violate our harbor management plan morphing out policy, but we are concerned with the blockage of the waterway and somebody will look into the environmental impacts, etc.
I would think there could be environmental impacts. I mean, these boats a lot of these boats will be sitting on the bottom.
Yeah.
So that may not be good for some aspects of this. Yeah.
We can't judge that. That's up to somebody else. We just got to say it doesn't violate our plan, right?
Right. I mean, it looks like they are not putting them all the way out into the deepest water. The deepest water is a little bit further past the end of the docks. That's kind of the informal channel going up to the other marinas.
Yeah,
it's out off the docks.
See, I don't see how it blocks the channel. What the 3-foot channel seems to be the channel. Those don't reach that. They're in 2-foot water.
Right.
So I don't think it blocks entrance or egress at all.
Right.
It follows basically the same line as the existing docks as it relates to the 2-foot depth.
Right.
So it's consistent with that if that's meaningful.
Yep. So it's so there's more. Let's see. Yeah, what they do up here is they just drive pipes in to hold the floats. There's no oil pilings and big construction going on. Okay, well, it sounds like we hear a motion for this submission.
I think what Jesse did submit a comment about it that was more on the negative side in terms of how far it protruded out away from the shore and towards the channel. If people didn't see that, he submitted that today.
He also commented whether neighbors have been contacted.
Right, that we don't know. I was hoping Keith was going to call in and be able to address these things.
What, you want to hold it off until the next meeting?
I feel bad doing that. We had this on our agenda. Well, it got sent into us for January, and then I felt thought the inside the railroad bridges was outside our jurisdiction, but that's not true in Wickedy-Quack Cove. That's only true in the harbor. And then, so I put it back on the agenda in March when I was there, and I guess Jess thought it was outside our jurisdiction, so he didn't look at it then either. So we've had it on the agenda twice and not reviewed it, and so I feel bad that we've delayed them so long on this already.
Well, are you looking for a motion? If so, I would move we accept the plan as within the scope of the wharfing out policy.
Let me ask you a question, is on the wharfing out, is there any minimum depth that we look at in terms of new dockage and that sort of thing?
No, that's not one of our criteria. No.
Yeah, Doco typically takes piers out to 3.5 feet.
Yeah,
But if you look at this thing, it seems like the dock is practically on the bottom for a fair amount of it.
That's true of all these docks in this marina. It's back to life there. You're not going anywhere an hour on each side of low tide.
Okay.
Jay, this is Paul.
Yeah.
I suggest that we try to call Keith Nielsen. I have his cell phone number. If you'd like, I'd try to ring him and ask him if he's available to call in.
Oh, if you have his
I
number, that'd
hate
be
to
great.
table this, but I really don't think that we can approve it unless we hear whether they've contacted the neighbors and whether he can answer some questions about the channel.
Okay.
So would you like me to call him?
Yeah. Yes, I would,
Okay.
Paul. Yeah.
right.
I'd rather not have this one keep going.
And the call-in number for him is on the email?
It's on the
Melanie?
agenda. It's on the agenda.
Yes,
All right.
and it's also on the agenda.
All right, I see it. Okay, I'll give him a call.
Thank you, Paul.
Well, Jay, do we have a motion on the table or not?
I didn't hear any second, so I don't think so. at the
Well,
moment.
I think at this point we have to withdraw the motion until we hear from Keith, right?
Hi, Keith. This is Paul O'Neill. How are you? Good. We're in the meeting at Harbor Management, and we're looking at the Lockwood Coveside Marina application, and wondered if you would be available to call in and answer some questions. Oh. Oh. The meeting is started. Let me get back into the meeting and I'll ask Melanie if she could.
You're in the meeting,
assist.
Paul. We can hear
So
you.
you want to stay on the line? Or? Oh, okay. We can do that too. All right. Jay,
Yes.
I got Keith on the line. He's been trying to dial into that number for a half hour. He said he's tried a dozen times and it's not working. But he did offer to stay on the phone with me and I could relay any questions back and forth and answers.
If
Hey,
you
Paul, can you put him on a conference so we can all hear him?
I'm not sure how I can do that. I can put it on speaker.
Right.
put it on speaker, we should be able to hear him. We could hear you. I can almost hear him before.
Where's my speaker? Okay, Keith, you're on speaker now.
I can hear you loud.
Okay.
I have a different access code. If that,
Go ahead.
Okay, Keith, we had some questions on this. So the docks go out a long ways. They go out to pretty much to right where the boats go by, I believe. You're showing that they go out almost to the 3 foot area, which is as deep as it gets there. you realize you're not really getting to deeper water there. You're just getting more docks in the flat area. So we're worried about a little bit about the traffic going by, and then our biggest concern is whether all the neighbors have been notified. We didn't see anything about that in this submission.
We have not sent out neighbor notification on this, although I did talk to the manager of the vineyard once a year ago and asked him if he had any plans for developing a dock in the area, and he said no. And I met with two parties down by NKW LLC and asked them if they were going to have a dock. As a matter of fact, I met with them on the site, and they said that we looked at the viability of a dock in that area, and they decided not to pursue any kind of a dock, even general permit dock. So what we did for our design rationale, you can see that there is a very small area where the water gets about 2 feet at the westerly end of the property. And we thought that rather than develop the types of docks that were in here before, since the marina was originally approved for 245 slips, that we would extend this westernmost dock out as far as the -2 contour, but clearly short of the Thalweg, which is the deepest water area that the boats traverse, going from the innermost parts of the cove out to the bridge. And we got our surveyor to show the -3 contour so that everybody could see. Well, the 4 main docks were originally consistent with the certificate of permission, and so previous permits, and so the DEP issued an OP for them. And so we stayed clear, like I said, we stayed clear of the Thalweg with this new development so that we specifically would not be impeding any progress in or out of the cove. And there is enough room on the west side of the west dock for not only all of the boats in the Coveside Marina, but also for the 3 or 4 property owners that are tucked up in that little west branch of Wickety-Quack Cove. For those 4 boats or those 4 properties to have boating access the same as the west edge of these proposed docks.
So, okay, so Keith, that little creek, that's the one that winds its way all the way up to the road to Route 1, right? And that's the kayak access site up there. No.
Yes, it is. That's the creek.
Okay. So I imagine there's some kayak traffic there, but that's about it, right?
I've been down there half a dozen times. I've never seen anybody in there in a kayak. I know that's not conclusive. I haven't seen the traffic.
Okay, but nobody has docks up there, right?
There are no docks up there. Well, none that I know of.
Okay.
They did not show up on the aerial.
Okay. Are there any other questions for Keith?
What about the environmental impact? Does he get involved in that?
From the standpoint of the typical environmental impacts from marinas and dock systems come when we impact submerged aquatic vegetation and when we impact tidal wetlands. There is no submerged aquatic vegetation that we have noted in this area. There is tidal wetlands vegetation along the bank, and the DEP has not indicated that they are going to be averse to the ramp landings that we've got shown on the drawings. But we're not fully into that part of the process yet. So the other impacts are from a lot of boats in a cove like this. But when Watsky had this, we had permits for 250 boats roughly, and when I'm trying to remember the name of the folks who owned it before Watsky bought it, but they had permits for well over 100 boats, and Watsky's pretty well maxed it out. But at any rate, that's what we're trying to make use of is the numbers for the old permit. The upland environmental impacts are negligible, and we don't know of any resource in the water that we will be adversely impacting there. That's where we are.
They don't have concerns with the how shallow it is and the boats will be sitting on the bottom at low tide?
Well, the boats certainly will be close to the bottom. It's only 1 to 2 feet in the area where we've got it, the docks designated. That is the case over at the northeast end as well, and certainly this is not a marina that will be able to command top dollar rents because there are so the water is so shallow, and we had prepared a conceptual plan 25 years ago, and we had designated the upland of the site for on-site disposal because we certainly can't get anything out of the river, out of the cove, and most of the area to the northeast was going to be trenched and bermed to receive this dewatering material. But it's such an effort to get contractors in for something like that. The Watskys eventually decided that if they were going to pursue something like this, they'd probably buy the equipment themselves because siltation is certainly not a once and done deal, and they would have to be able to maintain these facilities. Not sure that that's in Mr. Lockwood's plan right now, but he certainly does have the room to deal with it with upland disposal on site.
Let's see. Well, that's a totally different issue. That's not what we're talking about here. Okay, I was wondering because I know in another doc we talked about months ago, you had indicated Deep did not want to see the boats on the bottom, and that was a big issue with that one. And they're certainly going to be on the bottom of this. I used to keep a boat up in here at this when Stan had it, and I could only go out. I couldn't go out if it was low tide, plus or minus like 2 hours.
Right.
So,
Plus the dimension of the trestle itself, right? In terms of access.
that's not a problem with this bridge. I mean, yeah, you're too tall. I never had a problem with this bridge. This bridge was high, like the one over at Don Stock is now.
Right.
Okay.
So I guess we can resurrect the motion to approve, right?
Yes, this will be the time to make a motion, and I get a motion to approve this as being consistent with the harbor management plan.
Well, I made the original one, so I'll make it again.
Okay, thanks, Sherm. I don't think I got a second the first time.
I'll second it. I'll second it.
Okay, Ed seconded. Any more discussion? Okay, I'm going to call the motion. All those in favor of this of it?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, passed. All right. All right, Keith, I'll fill out the papers and probably mail them over to you guys. Okay.
Thank you very much. And if someone could tell me what I was doing wrong on the meeting code, thing, I sure appreciate it because I've been unlucky in the meetings WebEx.
It had the incorrect access code.
We had the incorrect code, Melanie? Oh, man.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that, Keith. That's our fault.
The phone number stays the same, but the access code changes. So each time I send the meeting out, it'll be a different access code.
Okay.
Okay, well, the one
That's
on the agenda for tonight, I couldn't tell if I was just, hamming it up myself or if it had been superseded. So, like I said, I tried a dozen times, literally, and I'm glad. Thank you for calling me back, Mr. O'Neill.
Oh, you're welcome, Keith.
Alrighty, you have a good evening.
Hey, you too. I'm gonna hang up.
okay. Thank you, Keith. Okay. On to treasurer's report. I sent out invoices with the agenda. Sharon?
Yeah, I got
I sent-
them, and I guess I have a question of Bruce on the Don's dock invoice for the work he did on, I guess, for which buoys he was doing, channel buoys, I guess, and the Sloan Lake. Anyway, did that charge look reasonable? That's a pretty good amount.
Don takes care of just the Anchorage area buoys.
Yeah, this was 5 Anchorage area buoy invoices, Bruce.
I missed that. Where do I find those?
They were attached to the agenda. If you look at the agenda, that was the last agenda I sent out. They're with that. There are a couple of pages in.
Let's see. I had it a minute ago. Wow. Sorry, I've lost it here. Can you fill me in on what the amounts were, Sherm?
I don't have those with me. There's the ones we'll pay, but I don't have them in front of me. So Jay may be able to get to his email. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's my mistake. And I just had the agenda up here. Let me type in Jay.
I have them open if you'd like me to read them. This is Paul.
Yeah, for some reason I'm not finding that. I'm not finding the agenda now. I have issues with this email. Lockwood Coastside Docks, July meeting, commissioners, tap to download. I have attached the agenda. Here we go. Jay, I have the July 13th agenda, but I do not have anything except the agenda on that one.
There would be attachments beyond that. They're like the second page or third page, no?
No.
So 11 pages together.
Not on this one. July 1st.
Showing the 464.84. There's 2 of them for that. That just seems like an awful lot. We just had our new mooring installed and it was half that price.
Maybe Paul, could you just tell me what those are? Or?
Yes, there's one invoice from Don's Dock, number 7271, for a total of 461 for scraping, cleaning, painting the mooring lines for the buoy. And then there's a second one with the identical cost. It's invoice 7272. Paint scope of work. And there's a third one for $299.
I missed what the second one was for, Paul.
Was $461.99.
And what was the description? Did it say what?
Same, clean, scrape, inspect spring mooring gear,
Oh,
paint mooring lines and buoy with anti-fouling. And looks like a new shackle and new half-inch chain.
The first two were for 30 feet of chain. And then four pieces.
And then
Right,
the third invoice, 7273, that's the invoice number, for a total of $292.49. Same scope of work, except less chain, 15 feet. And then there's a fourth invoice, number 7274, for a total of $95.20. And that's just for cleaning and painting, no chain or hardware. And then there's a fifth invoice, the same $95.20. And again, that's just painting and no hardware. So a total of 5 invoices.
For 5 different buoys, right?
Yes.
Yeah, separate buoys.
wow.
Yeah, the buoys are the northeast, then the southeast. Those are the expensive ones. And then the southwest marker was the 292. The south mid marker was a 95, and the northwest corner was 95.
Sounds like a lot to me. I would question also 30. I would question half-inch chain. What are we doing with half-inch chain on those little buoys?
So, question, can I just ask the question, did Don or Ian, did he advise us that he was putting all brand new tackle in this year?
No, but neither one of them ever does. They sort of have the instructions to take care of anything that's worn out. Steve Kingsland does, and for Dodson, for the ones that he handles, and Ian is always he's just taking care of them because we don't want to lose another of these buoys. So, and if he come to me and said, "Hey, I think I should replace this, or I think I should replace that," I shouldn't say never. Maybe 5 years ago we did talk about them, but since that time he's just replaced them. I did question him a year or two ago about why he would put a swivel on all these. He was judging us for swivels. I did not get a satisfactory answer. I can't see a buoy turning around on a tide change and fouling chain. I just can't see it, and that's what
He's not showing
prevents. What?
Bruce, there's no swivel listed, just a shackle and the chain. And with the half-inch chain, I think that's more cost effective. If you use lighter chain, it corrodes faster. This probably has a cheaper life cycle cost because it'll last a lot longer.
Maybe. No, I was talking about the swivels were a couple of years ago, and I
no swivel list on these invoices.
No, just shackles, just shackles on these.
Oh, I understand that. I get that.
One shackle.
So each one has a new shackle. Yeah, each one has one shackle.
Right.
Of the 3 that were, looks like 3 were totally overhauled. Yeah. So Eric, are you happy with how these buoys are anchored and everything?
They're holding position well, and we don't have any problems with them.
Okay.
I guess I hadn't looked that. Feet of chain for when we're looking at 18, 20 feet of water. I just happen to have a professionally done thing here that says those buoys are in 12 to 14 feet of water for the northeast and the southeast. 20 feet are appropriate.
I just think it's a lot for those first two, because we put in a new pyramid, new chain. He said he had to place it again for us and painted our mooring buoy. And it was half that.
It sounds like a lot to me. So what would you like me to do?
Well, why don't Bruce go talk to him and see if he can figure it out and get back to us next meeting?
I can do that. That's fine. Yep, I'll go back and find the invoices myself or look at it. I can talk to Ian.
Well, and you need to tell him we won't be paying him until next meeting.
Okay. It sounds like a lot of money to me too.
His rates seem to be, compared to the invoice we paid for Dodson's for 9 buoys, which was less than this for 5 buoys.
Yeah, that's typically what happens each year.
I don't know why.
If we have Ian, either one of them move a mooring and the commission pays for it, which we have to when we reassign the grid a little bit. Ian, I believe, charges $100 and Dodson's charges $50. So I've questioned this in the past too.
Well, I'm not sure it's worth worrying about it. And we're just going to get Ian pissed off at us again.
Sure.
And we're probably going to end up paying, and we're going to end up paying him. I mean, if we, I don't know what we've been doing it this way for quite a while. If we want to change it in some way, we got to think of a straightforward way to do it.
Well, I hope we don't. We have, I mean, to what you just said and what Ed said, for as long as I've been involved with the money part of it, we have always paid Ian more than we paid Dodson's for the same thing.
That's correct.
I mean, that's the way it has been, and we've been comfortable with that because it doesn't amount to very much. And there are only 2 organizations that service these things in the harbor. And if we, and we often ask Ian to do things like now or quickly, and he responds to that, as does Dodson's. And I would hate to jeopardize all of that because we might be paying $100 or $200 or $300 too much compared to Dodson's.
Here's what I would propose then for I think I might say let's just accept this, as Sherman mentioned. But when these things come out of the water in the fall and through the winter and the spring, I can go to Ian and we can go over each buoy and I'll write down what he thinks he should change, and then I'll present it to the commission, and then we'll know what it is, and we can compare prices, compare apples to apples, and whatever. So that's what I would propose.
Okay. I mean, we will, at some point in the future, we will have more buoys to do with the new slow no wake area. We'll have to consider how and who does that, I guess.
That's right. And we might consider the cost too. We might just have the two outfits bid on those, because there are a lot of buoys that are going up, that might go in. How many is it? Like 9 if we get what we propose? 9 slow no wake buoys around Sandy.
Well, no, not that many. It's 5, I think.
5.
Right?
4 more.
Okay.
It's just 5. It's just 5 buoys. The 4 off of Pawcatuck Point we're not doing.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's right. I was thinking of the other one. It's 5.
Yeah, there's also the guy over at Green Haven. I think he could probably, if he's still in business, could handle those boys too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he sold it. And they're doing moorings.
One thing, Steve Kingsland, if he's not retired, Steve is not as interested in going around to the east side of the point as Ian is. Ian doesn't mind going over there. Steve has plenty to do with all of Dodson's and the private moorings just here in the harbor. So I don't think he particularly likes going all the way around to the east side.
That's a true statement, and I think when the time comes, we could invite Greenhaven Marine Services to bid on the 5 new buoy maintenance.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so we get a motion to approve these invoices from Downstock?
Also move.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So we had the one for S&S Electric. We should just move that one too, I guess.
Yeah, I'll just pay that tomorrow.
Okay. They'll come back and make good on whatever the problem is Eric's still having with it.
Okay, so that's for, actually, those are for payments that'll be made in July. We've been talking about. If you look at the financial report that I sent in June, we did not deposit any money. We had a couple of expenses, online mooring. I think I put a comment on the spreadsheet. $773. That's for $6 charges and $2.05 charges for the credit card fee or online payment fee. And then the other thing was a bill from Dodson, speaking of buoys, Dodson Boatyard for installing 2 new anchors on no wake buoys and deploying 5 wake buoys and 4 channel markers. Also a 100-pound pyramid anchor. I don't quite understand this. You'd have to tell me what it is, but 120-pound 8-inch wire ties mooring. $783.80. That sounded reasonable to me, so we went ahead and paid it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's very reasonable. Yep.
What is, by the way, for my education, what are 8-inch wire ties 120 pounds? What are, there are 4 of them.
How much were those?
They were, oh, wait a minute, forget it. I didn't look at the cost. They were $1.39.
Yeah, those are just plastic wire ties, heavy duty plastic wire ties.
Oh, 120-pound test.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what that is. Okay. Sorry. So that's it. So we ended up the month with $23,021 in the main bank account and $25,000 in our set aside shadow account for the new boat.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion to
the trust report.
Can I get a second from that other person? That was Ed, I guess.
Bruce A.
Bruce A, second. Okay.
Yep.
Any discussion on the treasurer's report?
By the way, I found those invoices. Found the email with the invoices. That's my.
Okay. So if there's no more discussion on the treasurer's report, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Right, ayes, carry it.
Before we go to the harbor master's report, does anyone remember who approved and seconded the minutes? I missed it.
The minutes. Everybody remember who approved the minutes? Or, who motioned, put the motion for the minutes? Is that Joe and then Bruce?
I think I seconded.
Yeah, Joe Williams maybe motion it?
Yeah.
Joe and Bruce.
Yeah, I second it. Joe proposed.
So,
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
okay, on to the harbor master's report. Eric, this might be tough. Sometimes your phone is working good and sometimes not so much. Maybe you move the microphone closer or something.
How's this working now?
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, I'll sit right here. All right, for new moorings, we've got 5 permits that were issued, and I've got 4 more new mooring permits sitting on the desk here with checks that I need to work with online and with Melanie and get all of these transferred from wait list over to mooring holders now. So that's that. Deposits. Last week, deposit for $14,062.80 was made. That breaks down to $13,812.80 is what was deposited for mooring fees. That's a combination of Dotson's paid in full, Don's paid in full, private mooring holders, plus the May and June checks from online mooring. We also had a donation of $250 from one of our mooring holders that typically donates $100 to $200 a year. Let's see. I have the online mooring screen open. Keep in mind that these numbers do not include the Dotson or Don's dock count. So the 112 for Dotson and the 11 for Don's dock. We have approved 202 private moorings. We have 32 applications that are missing one piece or another. And we have 17 outstanding that we haven't heard from at this point. That 17 I'll have to review. There has been a couple of people that have said that they're not going to renew. I'll match those up with my emails. Let's see. Right now, we're running probably about 75% as far as people that have moorings that are going to use them this year. To me, it's a surprising number of people that are not using their moorings due to the current health and state situations and limitations. Everything from people just worried about their own health to worried about the launch service. Dotson's is running the launch service in a pretty restricted mode as far as the number of people that they'll carry. It's usually one boat at a time for the trips in and out. Sometimes they'll do 2 boats if it's small parties that they can put some people in the bow and some people in the stern. What else do we got? So we were talking a little bit before the meeting actually started, before some people had signed in. We did have a tragic event at Sandy Point yesterday. A Stonington resident did pass away. Not going to go into too much detail because I don't know how much has been released to the public. But we did have an emergency out there that did not end well, unfortunately. The boat itself, all is well. No equipment issues, no equipment needed that I can come up with right now. There was I think we mentioned this last meeting, there is an extra green can on the Sandy Point channel, and it's basically next to our rock buoy. What happened was the west end of Sandy Point, as it normally does, has continued to migrate to the northwest. The green number 5 can off the tip of the island physically moved probably 50 feet to the north. Every year I go lay alongside of it and just punch it into the GPS so that I have a good accurate counting. And when I went out there this spring, there was a definite move, and that correlates to how much the tip of the island has come around. What that caused drew a straight line from number 5 to number 7. It puts you right on top of the rock that we have our rock buoy on.
Ooh.
So the Coast Guard added it has no number on it. It's just a plain green can, basically right next to our rock buoy, to force people to really show them where the channel is. I'm not saying that actually makes people pay attention, but it's marked well. What else?
So Eric, you're saying the buoy actually changed location, or just relative to the end of Sandy Point that changed location?
When the Coast Guard, every year the Coast Guard changes out the number 5 buoy, puts in a smaller winter ice buoy, and takes out the larger buoy. This spring, when they reset the, let's call it summer buoy, they set it about 50 feet further north. It's all good water in that area. But, you know, they had to compensate for that by throwing another buoy in halfway down between 5 and 7.
Okay.
I actually noticed a few weeks ago that it was fairly easier to come around Sandy Point this year than in the past. Seemed like there was more room in my imagination, but it seemed like it was easier there.
The channel is good and wide. The water is, you know, because it rushes through there, it's real. I mean, it drops off at the beach real quick right there at the point. So navigationally, there's no issues that I've seen.
Eric, were you aware of the boat that got towed into the harbor from the Groton police boat? Stonington police boat went out to a mooring, took a whaler off of it, took it back to your dock, and the Groton police boat came in with towboat, and they towed a boat in and put it on a mooring. It was down near the railroad tracks, close to the West Bridge.
Yes, that was all associated with the person that passed away on Sandy Point Sunday.
Okay, all right.
So right now, I didn't get a chance to swing by the boat tonight. The last I knew, they had taken the boat from Sandy Point. That's the one you saw Groton towing in, and put that on the mooring. Their Boston whaler that we believe they keep at Cardinal Cove.
They do.
Okay, so they took that one, and for lack of knowing what to do with that one, I told Brian Schneider, Lieutenant Schneider, to go ahead and tie that to the starboard side of our boat at the floating dock. And the family was well aware of what was being moved where, and that they were under no immediate pressure to take care of that stuff. They've had a tragic event. I'm not going to be on their case to move a boat out of the way. Worst case, if it sits there for any amount of time, I'll slide it back into the empty slip next to the fixed dock and tie it off so that just, secured out of the way. It is under, that whole dock is under police surveillance with the camera, so we know that there won't be any issues. And the police are fully aware of, they're the ones that put it there, so they know what's going on with that situation. Another call that I got today, this is outside of the jurisdiction, but as a point of interest, the large sailboat that sunk just over a year ago east of Latimer Light, that is still on the bottom there with the wreck buoy floating above it. There's going to be actually it's Army Corps of Engineers will be going out next week, do a survey dive or two, and then they are going to cut all of the rigging and the mast off of that vessel. Depending on tidal conditions will depend on whether they haul that stuff out of there or try and just stuff it inside the vessel itself. The Coast Guard is the ones that have come up with the plan, and their intention is just to leave the hull on the bottom right there. Trying to remember, I think it's 55 feet of water, something like that. So they contacted me today just for they needed an emergency dock to use if they have any kind of issues. So if you see a Army Corps dive boat working out there or even coming into the harbor, that's what's going on.
That's just sad that government's having to take care of that.
Okay. Any, can I get a motion to accept the harbor master's report?
I'll make a motion to accept the harbor master's report.
Thank you, Ed.
Bruce Anderson, second.
Second from Bruce Anderson. Okay, any more discussion? Sounds good. We're getting our revenues in finally. A little slower this year than our new system, but they're coming in. That's good. Are there any questions on the commissioner? Commissioners have any questions on their mooring surveys?
We didn't accept that harbor master report.
No. Discussion. We're in discussion.
All right.
All right, then
Okay,
if we're in discussion, I have a question. Eric, has Cardinal paid its commercial fee?
Yes, they paid early on, Sherm. They gave up pretty quickly and just sent a check and said, do what you got to do in the computer.
Very good. Thanks.
And all of the invoices that you sent out for special purpose have also been paid.
Right. That I knew. I just didn't remember Cardinal. That's good.
Okay.
I understand, Eric, that Dodson's is not pumping fuel, right?
Correct.
Correct.
That's correct.
That's right.
True statement.
Is there any given this all the moorings they have in the harbor, is there any requirement to do that, or is that strictly up to them?
Strictly up to them. It's a business decision on their own. If you're looking for fuel and you have a small boat, I have started using Walker's Dock for the harbor master boat. Many of you met Timmy Straminska, whatever the heck his name was. Realized that they had a fuel setup up there, but there's not much water, but his price is pretty good though.
Okay.
New England Shipyard for larger vessels. That's who we're using.
Right.
Okay. Great. No, there's no more discussion. All those in favor of the harbor master's report?
All right.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Thank you, Eric. So that's it for the report, Melanie. So we got to capture that in the minutes, because Eric hasn't been providing us a written report.
He's going to provide me one, right, Eric?
Of course I am, Melanie.
Sure, because I didn't write all that information down.
Of course I will.
Thank you.
Please send some notes. So next month, Sherm and Eric, we should have those reports and go out with the agenda. They're supposed to go out with the agenda, I guess.
That's a town requirement for virtual meetings.
Yep.
Jay, what's your schedule for putting out the agenda then?
Normally I get it to them by the Thursday beforehand. This week they wanted it by Wednesday because they were doing something with their IT system.
Okay.
So I got it in on Wednesday, and I didn't even query you guys at that point. But
Okay.
yeah, I need to have it a few days in advance. I mean, I have to have it there by Friday. That's the last chance.
All right.
I'll try to get it in by Thursday. Old business. Last month we had a good discussion on adding a fee to the wait list. And we were going to investigate a couple of things on that with online mooring. I think Sherm and Sherm and Eric were going to do that. Melanie and Sherm.
About Eric, I had a couple of things to investigate, or at least my notes. So the way I interpreted my notes, the one was email, question of what's available to us and how much it costs and what the flexibility is in their email system for us to contact either waitlist people or mooring people or anybody within the system. And basically, it's unlimited. They will work with us to send emails anywhere within their system to all or part or however we want to define it. They'll help us write the emails if we'd like to. They'll help us use the automatic email scheduling thing. They are very big on using emails, the email services they have, because it can automate a lot of stuff. You don't have to do a lot of individual things. So whatever we want to do on email with the wait list, for example, which I think is what prompted the question, we can do. And there is no term, no limits. The second item was on what happens on the wait list if we decide to go ahead and either renew every year without a fee or renew with a fee. And I guess the with a fee is going to require an ordinance change, so I guess I concentrated more on renew without a fee. That's the basic part of their program. So that's all we have to do is let them know we would like to do that. And what happens is that if they, I talked to Brad Hurley today about it at length. Eric, you probably heard this too, so tell me if I get it wrong or heard something different. But if we're set up to renew every year on a wait list, we can, of course, have an email go out ahead of it that reminds people that they should renew their waitlist information and provides whatever information we want. So we can do whatever we deem necessary to notify them that it's coming up. They then go into the online system, just as the mooring holders do on a renewal. Check the information, change anything that needs to be changed. Hit submit, and that's it. They have renewed, and we are charged $6.
Yeah, sure.
Pardon?
Sure.
Yes.
We just got told by Deep to take out our fee structure for our moorings And I believe the management plan allows us to charge for wait lists. So I don't think there's any hang up there at all.
We talked
I
about
don't
this.
think I don't think the ordinance allows that. We went in specifically when we got the ordinance approved to approve $50 for moorings. We had a long discussion then as to whether we would want to charge annual renewals on the wait list, and decided no, we did not want to at that point. We would instead require a renewal every year, which we never had.
But
Interesting.
I believe, Eric, doesn't the wording say that we can charge for a waiting list?
We talked
And I
about
believe
this.
it does, and I was just headed back to call that up on the computer and look at the exact wording.
Yeah, I believe it allows us to charge for waiting list renewals. No fee, just allows.
It states in our minutes, and I remember we discussed this last month, and we looked it up, and it specifically already states that we can charge.
Wow.
Okay, so fine, we'll let, for the sake of the discussion, say we can charge. And at that point, we make a decision as to whether we want to charge $6, $10, whatever it is we deem appropriate to charge. At the same time, they go ahead and approve and update their wait list. And then to be consistent with what we do on the moorings, we would normally pay that, but on a wait list, we could have them pay it. All that can be built in automatically.
Right. Okay.
As a matter of fact, interestingly, I think now, you know, we always have a small group of people on the wait list that do check in and update their records. Well, now that we have online mooring, apparently there have been some of those folks who have gone ahead online and done it. I mean, they read the ordinance or whatever, so they do. And they are charged $6, and I assume that they're paying the $6.
Okay.
We're not paying
Yeah. Okay.
bill for it. Like 20 or 25 of them are doing that now.
Okay.
So anyway, it's a very doable thing if we want to do it. And then to finish the story, if the way they are set up now, although it could be different, when July 15th happens and somebody hasn't renewed, they are dropped from the wait list automatically. That's part of their automatic service. You don't have to do that, of course, but if you don't, that means that somebody, Eric, has got to decide what to do with all those people that don't update their record.
We can modify any date like that to whatever we want.
That's right.
That's not a system, hard piece.
No, but they will do that, and that's the way it's set up now, Eric, because he dropped all of the people on the wait list that we moved over by mistake and put them back on again. But the 15th, or not the 15th, the 1st of July, I guess it was, hit, and they got dropped.
Yeah.
They're back. They're back now. I checked.
Yeah, that explains the way the numbers jumped around on the dashboard too.
Yeah. So it works. The automatic stuff does work.
So it's great. So with regard to the fees and what Ed said, Deep is pushing that we don't have our fee structure in the plan. Now, I know we tried to get it out of there before. Perhaps we can. I was looking for some language from them to help us with that, because our language now is kind of, even if we were to take the fee structure out of the plan, it would still, the ordinance still says that it has to be voted by the town to increase the fees.
That's right.
Deep seemed to think we'd be a lot better off if we had it so that we were in control of the fees, or we in the Board of Selectmen were in control of the fees.
They,
A lot easier to make adjustments up or down as times change. So that's in section 5 of the plan of the ordinance. The limits of the Connecticut statute, Stonington Harbor Management Commission. The commission shall propose fee schedules for mooring or anchorage, fines levied under the provisions of this ordinance, or any other activity within the scope of this ordinance to be adopted by vote of the town of Stonington and the borough of Stonington legislative bodies. Now, I don't think we ever went to the borough of Stonington and had anything voted for, but or maybe the plan did get voted in the borough also. I don't remember. Then it talks about what we do with the fees. And there is it does have in the wait list section that we can set a fee there, but it doesn't say what it is.
Doesn't say how much.
We could also set a processing fee for the processing application. That's in there too. Then so waiting list applications are valid for 1 year and must be renewed annually for the following year. Waiting list renewal applications will be sent to current waiting list applicants in September of each year. So this is where we need to change the language to make it for online mooring or for online reference to online system. The applicant shall return the completed and signed renewal application with the stated fee to the harbor master, postmarked later, no later. So,
well, let me give one more little bit of information that works with this. The way we're set up now with online, our existing wait list when we went with them was transferred en masse over to them. And even if somebody's on that wait list 5 or 10 years, as long as there is not a renewal, we're not charged any additional fee for that. In other words, we paid the original $6. We will pay the original $6 rather when somebody on the wait list goes to the to get a mooring. That's normal. We would pay $6 for a new person coming into the wait list, but nothing thereafter till they move up to a mooring. So there's nothing to pass on. That's the way we are structured now. And anything else we do that requires some input into the system triggers the $6 and the check fee and so forth. Okay.
So we have a de facto fee. That's what you say.
Well, we have a de facto fee. We don't have a fee until we go to. We don't have a fee to worry about until either we get a new wait list candidate fresh when they were utilizing their system and setting them up, or when they migrate to a mooring, and then from that point every year they're paying a fee, or we're paying as they get renewed. But if we change our system, I guess I'm saying, if we change our program to charge a fee every year, at the same time they update their record, we'll be charged every year. Or they will be charged every year if we pass it on.
So, okay. So right now, online mooring won't do anything with our wait list.
They don't do anything with the list other than They can use it to send emails if we'd like them to send, if we'd like to send emails to them or special notices, or we want to change Eric wants to change something on the wait list, we can do that. There's just no charge for any of that.
Right.
As we go along.
But they do have a function for renewing the wait list
Yes,
that we're not using.
that we're not using.
That's nothing new for them to do.
That's correct.
And that costs $6 a person, a renewal.
A renewal, right? Just like the mooring renewal.
Yep. All right, does that resolve all the facts we thought we needed on that in the last meeting?
So we would need a fee if for renewal, if we're gonna do it that way. We'd have to charge each applicant on the wait list when they renew each year. We'd have to charge them a fee of some sort because we'll be charged the $6.
That's correct.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's just a matter now of deciding if we're going to do that, what the fee would be.
Well, I think we also need to decide what the consequence is if the renewal isn't made.
Mm-hmm.
This idea of just kind of loose, we kind of, we'll think about it when the time comes. I think we need to get away from a little of that. I'm more sympathetic to that with the mooring holders because there are lots of reasons and, but on a wait list deal, how many reasons are there for not renewing your wait list? And how many warnings should you get year after year?
True.
In my conversations with Matt and online, he relayed to me that most of the harbors that they handle charge a fee to be on the wait list.
That is correct.
And the average is $25 to $50. And he said to me, he suggested 50, and I was like, yeah, no, that's a lot. I think to implement this at first, I would think $10 to $25 it would be a range to look at. And it would help us to clean up the waiting list. I've received a few calls this year from folks wanting to know, how's the waiting list moving along? Where am I on the waiting list? So there is interest.
Okay. Well, if we're going to make changes to the plan, this is the time to do that. So
I don't think that we need to make any changes to the plan. The wording is there. I think you all know that I've been in favor of a wait list fee for a number of years. It doesn't have to be extravagant. I would say $15. It's a nominal amount. It just forces you to pay something to actually think about it instead of I'm on a list, I can be there for free and wait it out.
I totally agree with Eric. 15 is reasonable, 20. I think it'll help, it'll clean up the waiting list, it'll get folks, I've run across a number of people, it's been too long on the waiting list, I'm not interested, or I don't have a vote. And they just put their name on years ago, just in case.
Melanie, you're kind of floating.
I can't
Melanie,
understand you, Melanie.
Yeah, it's floating in and out.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Bruce.
It was Ed.
Oh, yeah. Melanie, your voice kind of floats in and out, and there's quite an echo.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you seem to have, you have two sessions. You still have two sessions going, Melanie, and you're muted on the one. But
I know, I
I think
can't.
over the audio's coming through on both, I think.
Ah, that's why.
Yeah, I can't change it, otherwise it stops the meeting.
Okay.
If I put a chat, can you all see this? Do you see the chat screen up?
No.
Yeah, I see it.
No.
I think you have to hit the chat button. Yeah. Okay, so can we get a motion regarding this wait list? You want to make a motion? Who
I
wants
make
to
a
put their
motion.
name to it?
I'll make a motion that we charge a fee for remaining on the wait list. And that fee should be no more than $20 and no less than $6.
I'd like to get a motion with a specific amouwe can go with. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question.
This motion would be setting the fee, so.
Okay, we don't need capital, right? So a $10
No.
fee will cover our costs and give us $4 profit.
That's right.
I suggest a $10 fee.
I'll second.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor of the $10 waitlist fee?
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, Sherm didn't vote. The treasurer didn't vote. I guess he thought it was too low. Oh, you're on mute, Sherm. Okay. So the other business was the harbor management plan. As I said, we got feedback from Deep, and we Ed is working on that. Some of it was just editorial type stuff, some formatting and some bits and pieces here and there, straightforward to fix. Substantive stuff is they're suggesting that we handle the fees differently. I got to go back with her because what she said that our text was fine doesn't agree with what she told me before on the phone. So I'm going to go back and forth with her a bit on that and see how other harbors have structured their administration of their fees. I think it would be much simpler for us if we could get set up so that we don't have to go to a town meeting to change the fee. We could do it with through the Board of Selectmen, or the board, or the what do you guys call it there in the borough? Burgesses or
Ward and Burgess.
Burgess. So maybe we should go to those two bodies and to change our fees and make our case, and we don't have to go to a town meeting on it. I mean, the one time to the town meeting was okay. I don't know if we want to be in a position where we adjust it more frequently. I mean, I could see a couple of things. One, I mean, we keep the special purpose fee at $20 to be basically a nominal fee for those nonprofit organizations. We could even reduce that, and then we wouldn't have to go to the trouble of invoicing them or dealing with or do we want to do something else with them to get them into the online warning system? So that's something to consider too going forward.
Yeah.
Try to do what we can to make it, to make that system work for us more and make life easier for everybody here.
Yes, we're still in our first year learning curve with this system. I think as we get more familiar with it and learn how to use it, we should end up with all parties in the system and not, 95% of them in the system and 5% out just because it's easy for us. It'll just create traceability and keep everything I think easier to manage in the long run.
Okay. So that's basically the report out on the harbor management plan. Now, they did, when Deep first reviewed it, they wanted me to get the ordinance approved, passed by the town before they reviewed the whole, they wanted like the town to approve the whole thing, and then they were gonna look at it. And I pointed out to them, you know, that half of the document is the ordinance. Didn't realize that. They were just like wanted us to approve this low no wake zone, but that half the document's the ordinance, and how we do that and that's what we're really approving at a town meeting. It's the ordinance, not the plan so much. The plan is really just approved by Deep, I think. It's the authority more on the plan part. But so we kind of went back and forth on that too a bit. So I did talk to the town in terms of how we do approve an ordinance right now. Right now they cannot have a town meeting, so they have some powers to do certain things by the Board of Selectmen, like they just did the sewer bonding. They have to show that there's that it's important enough or urgent enough to have that capability. So that they were willing to do that for our ordinance when we're ready to go forward with it.
Okay.
So
Jay,
yes.
the one thing on the plan itself, she had some comments on the drawing.
Yes,
And
the drawings. We need to work on that.
Looking for somebody that can upgrade the drawings.
Right. We need some IT help. Somebody who can create the new maps for the plan. Either using GIS or using Google Maps or something like that to create to add all the public access points. There's a variety of different maps and charts in the plan that Deep would like to see upgraded to the 21st century.
Couldn't DACO do that for us?
Weeks.
Potentially.
Pay them, and if they have got time to do it,
They might be able to. They're more into the construction. I don't know about doing the larger scale maps. Their stuff at the larger scale isn't. They do the drawings at the smaller scale. They do all that themselves. Their larger scale stuff are just maps, topo maps, and stuff that they've copied. That I've seen. I'm not sure they can do that.
What if we contacted Jesse? Jesse has the capability of doing that if he's going to.
I think we should pay somebody to do it. I think we should find somebody to pay him to do it. And we can find, maybe some younger talented person has the capabilities of doing this. If anybody knows of somebody, we've got some data entry going on for Eric. And maybe we can find somebody along those lines. If anybody knows anybody's kids or anybody's friends of your kids or something like that who might be able to do this, might be interested in making some extra money.
So Jay, does this mean that the whole progress of this is sort of not dead in the water, but we're waiting for the town to have a meeting, right? And that's not going to happen. So.
No, that's not true. I think the town says they think we might be able to do it without a meeting. So.
Okay.
So it's actually waiting on us to get these revisions now that Deep wants to see. And working back and forth with Deep to get it revised, so they're happy.
Hey Charles, you on?
Charles is connected.
Do you want me to unmute?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can unmute him. That doesn't mean he'll talk.
Charles?
Hey Charles, are you on?
That's a good trick.
I was just wondering if he had any talented kids coming out of his program that might be able to do that for us over at the school.
Yeah. I'll send him a chat question. Send him a chat question in case he's busy doing something else. Yeah. No.
No.
Oh, Charles says I can't hear anything anymore. He says.
Well, I unmuted him.
Let me send him a question here. Hang on.
I can hear now. Can you guys hear
Oh, there we
me?
go. Yes.
What's the question?
We're looking for somebody to help us revise the maps and drawings in the management plan.
Yeah. What about starting with the town GIS system? Wouldn't that make some sense?
We can start there. Talk with them.
I would talk to somebody in the town. Tell them I didn't hear all the details. I heard that you guys were looking to update the maps. Then my audio cut out. But you could probably talk to somebody in the town that knows the GIS system and see what you can get to start with. I know it's publicly accessible.
Right. Whether it can be extended to do what we need to do or not, it's a little different.
Or at a minimum,
for it.
At a minimum, it's a good starting point. So you get what you get out of the GIS system, have them export something, then you can add on to that, whether it's electronically or, by doodling on paper or whatever. That's what I would look into.
Charles, do you have any talent program at the school that might be able to pull something like that off for some income?
I could think of a couple people. It's kind of hard sometimes to find somebody who's really reliable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they might be all gung ho and then get stuck or lose interest or whatever. So, I'm not sure. What's the time frame? Did you guys talk about a time frame?
We'd like to do it fairly soon. We're in the midst of revising the plan for DEEP, and we want to get it back to them. We don't really want to wait till the school year or something like that to start.
Yeah, sorry. My audio is still cutting in and out. I didn't catch that.
Okay, we would like to get going on it, this month.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, everyone's home now, so I don't think I can. I can email a couple kids, but I think this could be a little bit larger scope than I would necessarily trust with a high school student.
Okay, it was just an idea.
Yeah, if you could get something from the town, like let's say a DXF file, which presumably they can export a DXF file from the GIS system, something that I know I can import into a CAD system.
Yeah.
Diagram, whatever you're looking for. But, right now it seems a little too, again, I missed some of the discussion because of my audio, but it seems a little too kind of vague and undefined for me to like just, if you want a teenager to do this, you got to be really clear and specific in your instructions. Do A, B, C, D, E, right? And I think there's a few too many questions still to go with the teenager right now.
Okay, thanks, Charles. All
Did
right.
you guys get all that from me?
Yes. Yeah, we got that. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
So everybody think about that. If everybody comes across something, let me know. I'll check with the town GIS department and see what they can do for us.
Is there a local graphics company that we could go to?
Probably. I'm not sure though. We'll have to check.
Does something Copycats does?
Yeah, I don't know about that. There's a place in the Developmental that does stuff. Like, be able to help us. I think that was there any other issues there, Ed? I think that was it for the.
No, that's it. That's it.
Okay. All right. That's our report. So Ed and I are working on this. If anybody wants to help out, feel free to help out. And, for that, is there any new business? No new business? There's no new business, then can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. Here's Sam.
All right, any discussion? I think we should adjourn. All right. So all those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye. The meeting, opposed? Any opposed? All right. Nobody ever opposes that one. So meeting is adjourned.
Or next month, we're gonna get an update of the access code prior to?
Yes, it's on the agenda, and it's also, it changes with each meeting.
Bruce, she's talking about the phone access code. We got that wrong. The invitation for the meeting, which had the access for the WebEx groups, you should have got that. It may have gone into your calendar. You have like Gmail, Gmail will take it out of your email and put it in your calendar. And that's where I found mine. I had to go to my calendar to find the link to join the meeting.
Okay, I don't have Gmail.
Oh, okay. Then it may, sometimes they think they're going to a calendar or something and they take them out of your email. So I'm sure we get that out and everybody has the WebEx link before the meeting next time.
Okay, so the email that I got just prior, obviously the meeting was already up and running, was from Melanie with the updated information. So is that something that could work into the process that is prior to the meeting? We could just have a general email to everybody?
I did. It was sent last week. You should have got the exact, you're on the mailing list. And I checked, and it went last week, and it was the exact email that I sent to you after the meeting started.
Okay, fine. I will look back and find out where it went.
Okay.
Yeah, it went. I don't know the date of the
You
meeting.
should check with me well before the meeting, like the day before if you don't have it. Please.
Okay, anything else you need for the minutes, Melanie? Did you get all that, everything?
I do. I have it all. I'm good.
Okay, all right. All right, thanks, everybody. We'll,
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
You.
Good night.
good night.
Hi.